Okay, hi. Let's begin with today's class. And the topic we were doing was inequality. We were discussing few questions and let's try to end the chapter today after solving a few important ones. So the first question is modulus of expression 1 plus modulus of expression 2 should be less than or equal to 0. एक बार रिवाइज करते हैं जो हमने पढ़ा था. हमने बोला था कि मॉड्यूलस ऑफ x के आउटपुट से दो पॉसिबल है, या तो प्लस x या फिर माइनस x. When will it be positive x if x is greater than 0, and when is it minus x when x is less than 0. Equal to 0 can be placed in either of them. So ये दो आउटपुट आर पॉसिबल. अगर mod x में डाल रहा हूँ, so the graph looks like this. That is, if the input is positive, the graph function follows the graph y equals to x, and if the input is negative, then the function follows the graph y equals to minus x. So I hope this is clear. अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. If I have to apply that knowledge to solve this question, तो हम observe करेंगे मॉड्यूलस से या तो जीरो मिलेगा या पॉजिटिव नंबर, दूसरे मॉड्यूलस से भी या तो जीरो मिलेगा या पॉजिटिव नंबर, बट द आउटपुट हैज टू बी ईदर लेस देन और इक्वल टू जीरो. नाउ लेस देन जीरो तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. देयर इज ओनली वन पॉसिबिलिटी दैट इन दोनों का सम जीरो आना चाहिए. दो पॉजिटिव नंबर्स का सम जीरो कब आएगा? दैट इज नेवर पॉसिबल. इसका मतलब है ये भी जीरो होगा और ये भी जीरो होगा. वी हैव टू फाइंड द कंडीशन जब ये दोनों साथ में जीरो हो जाए. So I'll write x square minus 4 should be equal to 0. A square minus b square equals 0 can be written as a plus b into a minus b is equal to 0. So यहाँ से zero product law लगाने पर I get two possibilities. Either x is equal to minus 2 or plus 2. इन दोनों में से कोई सा भी input डालने पर this expression will become 0. Now let's try to solve the second expression. यहाँ पे observe करते हैं this is also a quadratic equation. If I simplify this and write it in the form of factors. यहाँ पे मुझे मल्टीप्लाई करके 2 चाहिए, ऐड करके -3. सो -2 and -1 when they will be multiplied I'll get +2, और -2x और -x gives me -3x. when will this be equal to 0? either x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 1. अब हमारे पास what are the possible options? Let's mark them on the number line. either -2 और +2. या तो -2 हो सकता है या फिर +2. what is the other option? या तो 2 हो सकता है या फिर 1. हमें इंटरसेक्शन चाहिए. दैट इज द कॉमन पार्ट. कॉमन पार्ट -2 तो नहीं है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट प्रेजेंट ओवर हियर. कॉमन पार्ट में 1 भी नहीं है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट प्रेजेंट ओवर हियर. ओनली x equals 2 is present in both the cases. So finally our answer becomes x equals to 2. That is for the value x when x is equal to 2. Only then will these two expressions be 0, and then this condition will be satisfied. So we get the answer. Now let's move forward to the next question. This is an important question because यहाँ पे ये कह रहा है sum of two positive numbers should be less than or equal to 7. तो अगर हम फिर से रिवाइज करते हैं x is equal to mod x. Sorry, if I'm writing mod x is equal to plus x when x is greater than 0, this is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. Equality can be placed in either of these equations. The graph looks like this. When x is greater than 0, then what do I get? Y equals x. If x is less than 0, what do I get? Y equals to minus x. Fine. Now let's try to observe this. अगर मैं बात करता हूँ सिर्फ first expression की, that is x minus 5. Let's find the root which will be at 5. If 5 is the root, what does that mean? 5 से बड़ी value डालने पर what will happen? If I input anything greater than 5, then the output will be positive. 7 minus 5 is 2. 10 minus 5 is 5. So if I input anything greater than 5, it's going to be positive. If I enter anything less than 5, let's say 0, I'll get a negative term. If I enter -6, I'll again get a negative term. So if my input is greater than 5, this expression x minus 5 returns a positive number. If the input is less than 5, this expression returns a negative number. Now let's try to look at the second expression, that is x plus 4. If I'm talking about this, let's try to find the root which will be at x equals to -4. अगर मैं -4 से बड़ा नंबर डालता हूँ, then the output will be positive. Let's say I'm inputting 10. 10 plus 4 is going to be 14. That is a positive number. If I input anything greater than -4, let's say -3. Now -3 plus 4 is 1. That is again a positive number. Now if I input anything less than -4, let's say -10. Now -10 plus 4 is a negative number. So this is what we get. Now let's plot this thing on the same number line. Over here I have the root 5. Over here I have the root -4. If I input anything that is greater than 5, अगर 5 से बड़ी चीज डाल रहा हूँ, what will happen to this expression? With a positive है, so I will write x minus 5 with a positive sign. If I input this expression, if I input any value less than 5 in this expression, what will happen? Less than 5 returns a negative value. So यहाँ पे आएगा x minus 5, but because यहाँ पे negative output आ रहा है, so what will it become? Minus of x. So I have to put a negative sign in front of it. If If I am putting a negative sign in front of it, what will happen if I enter anything less than -4? It is still going to be negative. So this expression will be copied over here and I'll get minus of x minus 5. This is something that we had discussed in the previous lectures. So let's try to finish it quickly. Now what happens in this second expression? Second expression says x plus 4, but if it is greater than -4, then this is going to be positive. Greater than -4, it will be positive. So I'll put plus of x plus 4. Again this is greater than -4, so I'm going to put x plus 4 with a positive sign. But when this expression goes less than when the input goes less than -4, this expression becomes negative. So I have to put a negative sign in front of the expression x plus 4. Why am I doing that? Because when the x is less than 0, then we use the line y equals to -x. That is the reason why in front of f of x I have to put a negative sign. Now I'll move this upward so that I can solve this question. Okay. So now let's break it into various parts and analyze them separately. If x is greater than 5, then this expression can be written as x minus 5 plus x plus 4 less than equal to 7. X plus x becomes 2x minus 1 less than equal to 7. So 2x less than equal to, adding 1 on both the sides, I get x. X is less than equal to 4. The condition says x should be greater than 5, and in order to satisfy this condition, x should be less than equal to 4. Is that possible? Can x be greater than 5 and less than or equal to 4 at the same time? No, it is not possible. So from this expression, the thing which I solved, what is the solution set? 5. Now let's have a look at the second condition. The second condition is this expression. Now if I am looking at the values of x which are going to range between this value, -4 and 5. Let's include both of them, -4 to say 5. If x belongs to this interval, now what will happen to this original expression? It will be written as -x minus plus 5 and get plus x plus 4 less than equal to 7. X gets cancelled. If I get 9 equals to 7, this is not true. 9 can never be less than or equal to 7. So this is x belongs to 5 because no value of x will satisfy it. There is no value of x that is going to satisfy the expression, so we can say that the x belongs to null set. Now this solution is also 5. Now let's have a look at the third condition. If I am looking at the third condition, I see that x is less than -4. If x is less than -4, then the original expression can be written in this form, that is -x plus 5 minus x minus 4 less than equal to 7. If I have to simplify it, it becomes -2x plus 1 less than equal to 7. Subtracting 1 from both the sides, I will get 6 over here. Subtracting 1 and get 6 over here. So minus of x is less than equal to 3, or x is greater than equal to -3. When x is less than -4, can the value of x be greater than or equal to -3? This is not possible. If x is less than -4, at the same time x cannot be greater than -3. So the solution set becomes x belongs to 5. So in this condition, the one which we recently solved, we can say that x belongs to 5. So if I try to sum up the answer for you, the solution 5 for the third case. So ultimately the answer becomes x belongs to the null set, because there is no value of x which will ever satisfy this condition. Now let's continue with this question. I'll revise it for those who have joined late. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. So the first expression is x minus 5. X minus 5, I am going to calculate the root. So x minus 5 equals to 0. The first root is going to be x equals to 5. If I have a root at x equals to 5, I will plot it at the number line, that is 5. So if I input anything greater than 5, if the value is greater than 5, then this expression is always going to be positive, and if the input is less than 5, then it is going to be negative. If it is positive when the input is greater than 5, it is negative if the input is less than 5. Let's try to look at the second one, that is x plus 4. If I have to find the factor, I'll say x plus 4 is equal to 0. Ultimately, I'll say x is equal to minus 4 is a factor. Minus 4 से बड़ी value के लिए the output will be positive. Minus 4 से छोटी value के लिए the output will be negative. So minus 4 से बड़ा number 10 plus 4 is 14 positive. Minus 4 से छोटा number minus 10, that is minus 6, again a negative number. So now we get that one root is 5, another root is minus 4. Let's club them and bring them on the same number line. If I bring them on the same number line, this is 5 and this is minus 4. If I input anything greater than 5, for the first expression, 5 से बड़ा is positive. So I can simply write x minus 5, x minus 5 as it is. Now if I am taking a number which is less than 5, it becomes negative, and if it is negative, the term comes with a negative sign. So I am going to put minus in front of x minus 5. Again the same condition, so I will write minus of x minus 5. Let's observe the second expression. In the second expression, as we can see, if I input anything greater than minus 5, then it is positive. If I input anything less than minus 4, then it is going to be negative. So if x is greater than 0, we put it with the positive sign. If x is less than 0, we put it with the negative sign. Now as we just saw, minus 4 से बड़ा होने पे तो it is positive. So we can write it as it is. It will be x plus 4. Again x plus 4. Now if it is less than minus 4, it should come with a negative sign because it is negative, and what returns a positive value. So I'll put it with the negative sign, that is minus of x minus 4. I hope it's clear to there. Now let's have a look at the number line which we have just plotted. Now this is the number line, let's try to solve it. Okay. Now if x is greater than equal to 5, if x is either greater than or equal to 5, this is what we discussed. This is known as slack inequality because x can either be greater than 5 or equal to 5. Both of those conditions is true. Now let's try to solve it. This expression reduces to the form x minus 5 plus x plus 4. This is less than or equal to 7. 2x minus 1 less than equal to 7. So 2x should be less than equal to 8. Hence x is less than equal to 4. Is it ever possible that x is greater than equal to 5 as well as less than equal to 4 at the same time? No, it's not possible. So we say x belongs to 5 is the solution set of this interval. Now let's have a look at the second expression. The second expression can be written as x belongs from minus 4 to 5. 5 we have already studied in the first case. Now I am going to include minus 4. This expression reduces to the form of minus x plus 5 plus x plus 4 less than equal to 7. X gets cancelled, I will get 9 less than equal to 7, that is always false. If it is always false, we can say that no value of x will ever satisfy it. If no value of x will ever satisfy it, what can I say? The solution set is null set. X belongs to 5. So again in this I can say 5 is the answer. Now let's have a look at the third condition. Let's revise it quickly and then we'll move forward to the next question. The third condition says that x is less than minus 4. Because equality of minus 4 was already studied in the second case. Now let's try to focus at x less than minus 4. In the case of x less than minus 4, this expression reduces to the form of minus x plus 5 minus x plus 4 less than equal to 7. I can write it as minus 2x plus 9 less than equal to 7. So finally it becomes minus, okay, just a minute, minus x plus 5 minus x plus 4 less than equal to 7. So it is minus 2x plus 9 less than equal to 7. Minus 2x less than equal to minus 2. So I can say that minus of x is less than equal to minus of 1 less than or equal to. If I multiply minus on both the sides, I get x is greater than or equal to 1. Is it possible that x is less than minus 4 as well as greater than equal to 1? No, that is not possible. So again I will say x belongs to 5. If x belongs to 5 is the solution of this interval, ultimately if I sum it up, I can say that the final answer is going to be x belongs to 5. There is no value of x to satisfy this expression. Let's move forward to the next question. We are going to focus at square root inequality. Now the thing to remember over here is that if someone says x square is equal to 25.
If someone says x square equals to 25, what am I going to do? I'll take the square root on both the sides. So I'll say that x belongs to plus minus 5. Let's try to understand what just happened. If in this condition I input plus 5 ka whole square, I'll get 25. If in this condition I input minus 5 ka whole square, I'll again get 25. So I can say that x equals to plus minus 5 is the solution set to this. But according to the universal convention, whenever I write something like x equals to under root 16, then the answer is only 4, that is plus 4. Now we are not going to include minus 4. For those who have studied further chapters, the graph of under root x looks something like this. There is no negative output. You can only input positive values, you'll only get positive output. So now let's try to solve this question. Squaring both the sides, I'll get, if this term is greater than equal to 2, how do you think we can solve it? If I square both the sides, I'll get x minus 5 greater than equal to 4. So I can say x is greater than equal to 9. Is this correct? It is not entirely correct, but because while solving it, we also had to consider the domain of the function. Domain states that x minus 5 should be greater than equal to 0, hence x is greater than equal to 5. Now we have to club these two conditions, x greater than equal to 5 as well as x greater than equal to 9. Now what is the value that is satisfying both of them? The value which is satisfying both of them is only those values which are greater than equal to 9. So now I can say this is the answer to my question. So thank you for being a patient audience. Let's continue this lecture in the next class. Thank you.